January 17th, Antony the Great. Welcome to 365 Christian Men, where every day we aim to inspire and encourage with real-life stories about men. According to the theologian Athanasius, when Antony was about 20, the devil afflicted him with boredom, laziness, and the phantoms of women, which Antony overcame by waging a war of prayer. After 15 years of this battle, at 35, Antony withdrew from public life and lived in absolute solitude in an abandoned Roman fortress, where people tossed food to him over the wall. Still, people found him. Over the years, many people had flocked to the hermit and returned healed of their ailments. The man was gifted with discernment and steadfast faith. Some people asked the monk to pray, and some simply slept outside his door, believing that they could be healed just by being in his presence. It was never Antony himself who healed them, but God, who was working through Antony. Yet, Antony's faith meant life-changing rescue to everyone who sought him. The way you live out your faith may be another man's lifeline. There was an honorable military officer named Martinian who was raising a family, and he believed in God. But one day he found his sweet daughter afflicted with an evil spirit. Horrified, Martinian would have done anything to see his daughter in her right mind again. Antony was the man for the job. Martinian hiked into the desert where Antony lived alone on a mountain near the east bank of the Nile River. Martinian walked and kept walking and eventually came upon the abandoned Roman fort where Antony had lived for nearly 20 years. Martinian knocked on the door and waited. He listened for any sign of movement from inside, but he heard nothing. Again, he knocked, longer, and he yelled for the hermit. Still, there was no answer. Desperate, Martinian resolved to knock until the hermit answered, and he kept knocking and pleading for Antony to come out and pray to God for his little girl. Finally, though he would not open the door, Antony's voice rose above the noise of the officer's pounding. Martinian stopped and listened. "Man, why do you call on me?" Antony said. "I also am a man, even as you. But if you believe on Christ whom I serve, go, and according as you believe, pray to God, and it shall come to pass." Martinian did not protest, as other pilgrims had, but he left immediately. Believing Antony's instruction, he called out to God and asked him to heal his daughter. When Martinian got home, he saw his daughter free from the evil spirit, and he was so happy. Antony had never seen this girl, but found confirming joy in his heart. It's like the story in Matthew chapter 8, verses 5 through 11 and 13. When Jesus had entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him asking for help. "Lord," he said, "my servant lies at home paralyzed, suffering terribly." And Jesus said to him, "Shall I come and heal him?" The centurion replied, "Lord, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof, but just say the word and my servant will be healed. For I myself am a man under authority, with soldiers under me. I tell this one go and he goes, and that one come and he comes. I say to my servant, do this, and he does it." When Jesus heard this, he was amazed, and said to those following him, "Truly I tell you, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith." Then Jesus said to the centurion, "Go, let it be done just as you believed it would," and his servant was healed at that moment. How can you use your own gifts and faith to strengthen someone else today? The way you live out your faith may be another man's lifeline.
Hello friends, my name is George Morrison, and I pastored in the Denver metro area for over 35 years, and now I travel with our ministry called Truth and Life Ministry, teaching leaders. Our story today is about a gentleman named Antony the Great. Well, as the story goes, he lived as a monk on the shores of the Nile River for most of his life, just because he felt led of the Lord to live a life of solitude and prayer to God. But the thing that stood out to me about this particular story was how impactful a man can be. Even though living in isolation, he was able to impact so many lives for Christ. It reminded me of something that recently happened to me, and I went through some physical challenges. And sometimes when you go through physical challenges, you tend to pull back and wonder how it's going to work out and if God is going to continue to use you as he did before. But I found out through a testimony of a friend of mine who came to me and he said, as I watched you go through this challenge and how God has poured out his grace on you and has brought healing and restoration, I myself followed through, and as a result of it, I discovered some things about my own life that needed to be taken care of. And I thought how impactful our life can be at moments when we think we're at the least of being impactful. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but I want to encourage you today. I want to challenge you today that, if God be for us, who can be against us? And God is for you, and he has a plan for you. And although life presents its challenges, and there are times when we maybe are going through what we would call difficult times, it's in those times that God can also impact other people's lives. So I encourage you to never give up, to always trust the Lord, always have a song of praise in your heart, so you never know when your life is going to speak volumes to other people that you don't even know were listening or looking. So be challenged today, be encouraged today that God can use you at all times. Thank you and God bless.
Before we go, quick note, we're launching a women's storytelling channel in January. Same style as this, just from a woman's perspective. If you know someone in your life who'd enjoy these stories, it's linked in the bio.